What is the deciding factor and things you look for when you're considering changing career paths? Mortgage and real estate is one of those industries that many people find when they're unhappy with their current job or something about their current situation, and you've met someone who is a loan officer, a loan processor. There are tons of positions that we could share with you that are within the real estate industry. Now, most people think of real estate agents as the only job. Maybe a loan officer if you've watched some of our other videos, but what about the positions that aren't as well known, like a loan processor or an account executive for a wholesale bank? At the actual lenders, there's loan underwriters, loan closers. I could just keep going, but in this video, we're gonna dig deeper into the loan processor position because wherever a loan officer is, you will usually find a loan processor. Their positions are very different in structure and task priority, but they work with the exact same information and towards the exact same goal. Hi everyone, I'm Megan, and this channel is all about bringing real estate and home buyers their best tips, tools, and information when purchasing a home. And our one goal is to help you reach financial freedom. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to get notified when we release videos that will help you with credit, personal finances, and real estate. Now, if you've watched any of our videos about the career of becoming a loan officer, maybe the thought of selling and going commission excites you. You've always daydreamed of the time that you could make your own schedule, set your own income potential, and build your own book of business. But I am sure that there are a number of you that maybe even stopped the video and said, oh hell no, I cannot and I will not ever not have a guaranteed paycheck. You love to follow steps, cross out items on checklists, you're an organizational whiz. If this sounds like you, then processing in the mortgage industry could be your calling. That was me 15 years ago when I left my accounting job and took a position processing loans at a small mortgage brokerage in Western PA. I was too scared to go commission and I wanted to learn the business before ever trying to sell. So I took a job as a loan processor in a small mortgage brokerage, and now I did end up switching to a loan officer a year later. But ever since that career change, I have worked alongside, hired, and been part of our loan process at my company for the last 18 years. So I'm gonna share with you what the job of a loan processor is, how to become a loan processor, what qualities make great processors, and just a broad overview of the pay and career path options. Let's first talk about how do you become a loan processor. So since loan processors don't require a college degree, pretty much anyone who's interested can apply and consider a position as a loan processor. Although I don't recommend it for everyone. There are definitely personalities and work styles that excel as processors and ones that do better as loan officers or some of the other positions. I also want to mention that loan processors are not required to pass the national NMLS exam, although making the test and getting your license a priority opens up career and earning potentials and many more opportunities. So I would highly recommend taking the steps towards getting your license. What does a loan processor do every day? Now, this can vary from company to company, but the general task of a loan processor is that you're collecting paperwork from clients and applicants who are trying to get loans. You're organizing that paperwork, you're reviewing those documents for missing information, mistakes, things that are red flags that an underwriter will look for. You're trying to get ahead of it. You're following step-by-step processes from a loan application all the way to closing. Sometimes loan processors will lock and disclose, they order appraisals, do verifications of employment, they'll ask for insurance. They send the application and the paperwork to the lender with the goal of getting a loan approved. Now, once the loan is approved, a loan processor's main job is to get the buyer to closing on time. And so you continue to collect additional documents and cross off items on a checklist. You're gonna follow up on all the things that are ordered earlier that I mentioned, and as a processor, you may request things and not hear back, so you will be doing follow-up and follow-up. Communication's a big part of it. You're gonna communicate with all parties involved in the home buying process, like the appraiser, the employers of your borrower, the loan officer you're working with, and I will say that can be the hardest job is dealing with the loan officers. Now, I see loan processors, in my mind, they're like the quarterback of the loan process. As a processor, you talk with and work with the home buyer, the real estate agents, the loan officers, the underwriters, the closers, the title company. It's a lot of work bringing it all together, and you're doing this with multiple files and clients at once. So that is where having specific strengths and qualities comes in to succeeding as a loan processor. Some of those qualities of a great loan processor, I think number one is to be organized or come up with a system of being organized. The second thing is you need to be productive and efficient instead of being reactive. There's always going to be things flying at you, but to make sure that you're prioritizing the loans that are closing and on what date first is super important. Now, someone who is systems oriented and enjoys coming up with processes and procedures would be a huge asset to a mortgage company or a team that is hiring loan processors. Now, and even though processors don't sell like loan officers do, they still need to be able to build relationships with clients and referral partners if the company and your loan officer and you are going to be used again and again. One of the last things I like to bring up is patience and empathy. It's the key to becoming a really good processor that everyone wants to work with, because home buyers are confused, they don't do it very often, and having the patience to answer the same questions or answer a question when someone is frustrated is a key part to succeeding as a loan processor. And one of the biggest burning questions you probably have that now we're gonna cover is how much do loan processors make? Now, this varies from location to company, the amount of experience you have, amount of work you can handle. There are so many variables. I would say your general salary range is going to be somewhere in the upper 20 range. So the low end is the 20 range, the 30 range, all the way up to the more experienced people. I've seen processors making a base of around that 50 to 60 range, and then bonuses on top of that. So some companies might do it all on a salary, whereas other companies might have a more modest salary, but then there is a bonus per file or based on the amount of work that a loan processor can make. So as you build a career as a loan processor, you absolutely can be making somewhere in the 50 to 75, 80, and the best ones making even as close to and up to around 6 figures in the bigger cities who can handle a lot of work. Now, I did want to mention, I've also seen processors get paid by loans closed. So just as an example, if you got paid $350 per file and closed 10 files in a month, you would make $3,500. Now, I don't know if that's exactly what is paid per file, but it's just an example for you to understand. So if you're looking for a job as a processor, you know the questions to ask. Processors usually can find positions with benefits, and you can also start your own business one day if that's a goal that you have. Where do processors work is the next thing I wanted to run through, which in an office or from home are the most common 2 places. So loan processors can work pretty much from anywhere, but it will depend on the company that you work for and how they are set up. During your first 6 months, if you're brand new, you're going to need a lot of training and help. So being near other coworkers is gonna help you get up to speed. But once you're in a flow, working from home definitely is an option and something that we allow our team to do a few days a week. Who do loan processors work for? Where do you start looking for these positions? So loan processors work for mortgage companies, mortgage brokers, and mortgage lenders. Any business that closes mortgage loans provided to customers needs loan processors. So there are a lot of jobs out there that you can keep an eye on. There are also loan processing companies that are independent of lenders and mortgage companies, and they are what's called contractors to the lenders. And this means that you work for the processing company, and the processing company is hired by the lender, so you'll be working as a third party to the mortgage company, and you'll perform the same tasks as when you work for a lender directly. It's just that your employer changes. So then that kind of brings us into what a career path could look like for someone who starts processing, but maybe wants to do other things, manage, what's down the road for you. So there are a couple things that a processor can do after gaining years of experience. So a processor could eventually work towards becoming a team or a office manager. You could be a pipeline manager. You could work your way up to being an operations manager of a company when you're helping create systems and workflows. Sometimes I see loan processors who want to go off and become a loan officer, and they usually have really gained some of the best knowledge from knowing how the process works. So we've had people who process for us who just go straight into becoming a loan officer. Some of them first want to go into more of a junior loan officer role. So loan officer's assistant, junior loan officer, an inside sales team. If you really want to kind of switch what you're doing but have a similar job role, you could look at becoming a title agent or a closer at a bank. Kind of the last thing, if you, instead of managing and working your way up in management at a bigger company, is you could go and start your own processing company and be the owner of a contract processing company that then provides processing for mortgage companies and mortgage brokers like my company. Now, one word of warning, not all companies are the same. So it really is important for you to do your due diligence when you take a position as a processor somewhere. Ask the right questions to ensure that you're finding the best environment and team for your career goals. I think some of the most important questions you need to ask a company that you're considering joining is, what type of training and onboarding will I get if I join your team? Will I have a mentor? How many loans will you be handling each month? So how many will you give me? Will it start here, grow to here? What types of processes do you have in place? And ask them to see one or two. Ask them about opportunities for growth. If you want to do something different, do they allow that? Ask them how many banks they work with. Is it a single bank or do they have many banks? And then lastly, I would ask, is my pay or position evaluated on certain factors, such as does my pay change based on the number of files I close or the quality of the files I close? And as someone who has originated mortgages for more than 15 years, I could not do what I do and did and look good without the loan processors, or loan partners we call them, on our team. They're strong where I'm weak. And as a loan officer, I would go hunting and bring in the business, and then they would clean it up, prepare it, and make dinner. So my processors would catch my mistakes. They'd help me when I was overloaded and really just help me look good. So this is a really important job that's very rewarding, and it can be stressful at times too. Helping a family learn and get into a home is the cornerstone of the American dream. So being a loan processor can be a great career for many of you out there. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, and if you would like to learn more about the opportunities at our company, collab lending, or just about becoming a loan processor, all you need to do is click on the link in the description and someone from our team will reach out to schedule a time to talk with you. I hope that this video gave you the insight that you're looking for and that you will join us for more information on next week's video. And if you know someone who could benefit from this information, please share the video with them. Hit that subscribe button and the bell to get further notifications. And if I didn't answer one of your questions, I would love to see your comments or questions right in the comments section below. I look at those, we respond, and I'm sure someone else has the same question. Otherwise, just continue to check out all of the other home buying and home owning tips on our channel, and make sure you tune in next time. And if you're looking for that better career in mortgages and loan processing sounds great to you, you'll want to check out our weekly videos to keep learning more about the real estate and mortgage industry.